started a good bit later than I wanted. This is already going to be a shorter stream. So I have some work tomorrow. So I want to get to sleep relatively earlier. So we'll see. Probably be like 3 or 4 hours. Audio sounds good. Gotta change this damn. Let me just run an ad real quick. So pre-roll is off. It's like nobody here, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I will be starting I'm gonna explore some Kingdom's Edge and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. Kind of messing around with the layout for each game, trying to see what works and what doesn't. Let's see. I'm not really worried about my nail right now. In terms of what I can do and what I can't do, I already got Crystal Peak done. Howling Cliffs is pretty much over with. Green Path is... Yeah, I should do Green Path first, actually. I already have everything. Wait, did I? Yeah. Wait. No. That's... Yeah, I already did that. That's the... place to the left is Queen's Garden, so I can't go there yet. Never mind. Same thing with there in Fog Canyon. I can't get there yet. So it's Deep Nest and let me check what this is in Resting Grounds, because I swear I went all the way to the end over there, but maybe... Oh no, I didn't. Right, that's Blue Lake. Huh. Should we do something emotional for the first bit of stream? I could leave it to the end, or I could just get it out the way. Because Curl's gonna be there, and that's gonna be last time we see him. No, I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. Let's do Kingdom's Edge. Let me see what I have. I don't remember what the other ones are for the Soul Vessels. Could just real quick go to Deep Nest and get a Mask Fragment, I guess. I don't really feel like doing that. Yeah. King Station. Is this good? I guess. Ugh. Really nothing I can put here that I... guess I might as well just put that back. Man, every time I play a new game, I need to remember exactly how to play. Should I just go to Ogrim right now? Actually, So I'm trying to remember what every NPC is like. Because it's right there. Let me go talk to the Dung Defender real quick, because he should be back. Might as well. It's literally right here. Let's see. There we go. So there were others. Man, it's so... Like, if I didn't watch the lore videos I did, I would have literally zero clue what the heck is going on within the actual story. Like, seeing all this stuff, it's like, I know what the dialogue means and everything that's going on. But it's like, to piece it together yourself is so... Like, there's certain things, if I had paid attention more, you know, like, if I were to play it right now, blind, like, if you were to wipe my memories, I'm sure if I looked at the lore tablets and stuff, I could piece together some bits, you know. Like, I could find out about the radiance, and I could find out about the infection and certain things, but a lot of the other, like, more intricate parts are just so... Like, there's stuff you can miss, and there's stuff that is, like, said so vaguely and by one character in this specific place. And there's Dream Now dialogue for bosses that you can't even... You can't even get to them with... You can't get to the Dream Now without... At least I'm pretty sure you can't get to the Dream Now before fighting them. Like, Hornet's first fight has Dream Now dialogue, but you can't... I don't remember being able to get to her. Being able to get to the Dream Now without having the dash in the first place. I mean, even if you were... Let me just read this dialogue, because I need to actually think about this. Oh, it's you again. I'm glad to see you return. No, please, don't say a word. I must apologize for my previous behavior. He is kind of one of the few bosses that actually attacks you first. Thinking about it now, it's like... A lot of bosses, you kind of hit them first. Grozmother is just sleeping, and you attack her. Crystal Guardian is sleeping, and you attack him. Who else? I'll have to look it up, actually. There are a good amount of bosses that attack you first. You know, infected and non-infected, but there are a couple where it's just you just attack them for no good reason. Entirely my fault. I mistook you for one of those mindless skulking husks. You bested me in the most majestic knightly fashion. Let me actually... Because, like, to get to Crystal Peak, there's two ways. There's obviously the regular way, where you go in through... Well, both of them are Forgotten Crossroads. But one, you need the... One, you need the lantern, which is 1,800 Geo, which you could theoretically just grind out, killing some of the bigger husks and stuff, gathering swarm, you know, you could get the spell, you could go to Green Path, get to Zote, kill the Wrenchlight King, get that money. Like, you could farm it up and buy the lantern, and then it's like 150 to unlock the door. And then you go through Crystal Peak. You get to the area. I wish it let me use a cursor so I could actually show where exactly I'm looking at. The place to the left of Crystallized Mound, which is where you go to get the Dream Now. Like, I don't even know if you can get through the spiked area before it without the dash. I should actually test it out just to see if if I'm right or not. If you could get through it with just jumps. I mean, yeah, and even before that, you can't get the Mantis Claw without the dash either. So it's not like you would have any other movement options but the jump. Just like if you could get there, then you could drop down and then just go back. And then you could obviously go into King Station through the elevator, and then you wouldn't. Huh. I actually need to figure this out because it's just strange to me that they would have Dream Now dialogue for a boss that would be impossible to get the Dream Now for. So I'm assuming that you would actually be physically able to do it. Anyways. That tear. You've been to her grove. I swore I'd visit, but my duties, my oath. Oh, I'm sorry, ignore me. I'm just being foolish. If I'm not careful, I'll sink down into old memories and won't ever come back again. She's a great judge of character, so if she gave you her blessing, you must be something special indeed. I'm barely worthy to be in your presence. It's interesting because like you can't really see any charms or anything that the knight has on them, but he specifically says that he notices the tear, which would obviously be Isma's tear, which is just a fruit. Which is strange that we ingested it. Wait. That suggests that we have a mouth and we can eat. I always thought the entire reason the knight couldn't speak is because they didn't have a mouth. That actually changes. I don't know, I didn't think of that actually. Because it's not just having it on you that gives you immunity to acid. You have to eat it. Which means that the knight would have to have a mouth. But it's just not shown because of the mask. Because yeah, we don't really see the face. The knight's body is a corpse and inside is the void. Does the void have a mouth? I don't even really know. Such joyful, vigorous combat, I'd almost forgotten the feeling. I was once a knight, you see. By the grace of our good king, I stood proudly before the throne, watching Hallownest swell to greatness. Then that nasty business with the affliction. We knights defend against the physical, but a formless enemy. How to defeat such a foe? Our king tried in his own way. A cruel means it was, and still, eventually, we were brought low. Bah, I shouldn't be so morose. You've invigorated me. 'Tis truly a delight to meet one whose strength can match my own. Go now, mighty warrior of Hallownest. You've proven your honor. Good fortune on the path ahead. Pretty sure he's not gonna be. Yeah, I know. Okay. Oh. Is he? No. He was just under, I guess. Oh, he's just gonna come back up. Yeah. It's like obviously he's talking about the vessels, but it's like it never really specifies that he's talking about the vessels. Okay. So much better to actually be able to kill these guys faster. Let me just test this out real quick. Because I want to know. It wouldn't make sense to me to have something like that in the game and not be able to actually do it. That just doesn't make sense. Alright. I never went this way, did I? Oh no, I did. That's weird. Never saw them do that. Okay. Was this way, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. How to get here with no dash? And no wall climb. Would this be possible? Okay, I just mistimed that jump. Seems so. Yeah, and then you just walk. Yeah, I don't know why I thought you needed a dash. Obviously, you wouldn't do this unless you literally knew where you were going and what you needed. Wait, no. Yeah, no, you wouldn't be able to get up here. Because you need the claw to be able to ride on these. This isn't automatic. There must be a way to get up there the regular way then. This way. Ah, okay. And then you'd go like this. Okay, I see. That makes a lot more sense. So yeah, it's fully possible to get the dream now before you get any of the movement options. Okay. Cause yeah, you don't need... Be a lot harder to deal with this place, but you just fully don't need any of the movement. Okay. That was interesting. I'm glad I learned that. Because I knew of a skip where you can go and, you know, you don't need to beat the first boss or anything. Like you essentially just go to where Celebra is. Well, you still go to Green Path. I mean, you don't need to beat the first boss and get the City Seal, which allows you to actually open up the gates. Where you essentially you die and then you use your shade to go to resting grounds really early. But this is a lot faster. You'd be weaker, sure, but it's an interesting tactic that I wouldn't really have thought of before. I don't know. It's interesting to know that you could actually do that. I don't think many games I've played, especially Metroidvanias, allow you to skip stuff like that. So there's a lot of skips you can do in Hollow Knight that I've noticed. Okay. I don't know why it does that.
So you're the ones who've been slowing me down.
Right, I forgot about that.
What? All right. Let's do the thing. What are you doing? Oh, that's right. Let's do the thing.
It takes a while to actually load the clip, which is a bit annoying.
We have done the
I don't think
thing.
there's actually a way to change that. Man. Fucking pipes are going crazy again. Yeah. Oh no, I thought I got this already, I guess not. But yeah, no. I'll have to try out. Speedrun for sure. Let's just go to Oro right away. Okay, this is going a bit crazy right now. I'm gonna exit out some stuff. Hopefully that helps out with the lag, which is kind of bothering me. Oh, man. It's usually not this bad. I'm so glad I got the upgrade before I came here. Okay. Somehow still got me. Okay, now it's going a bit crazy. That's just... Brother Mato, in your homely, in your lonely home at the top of the world, do you still think of me as an enemy? In the future, if you will listen, I'll tell you why I chose to tread this path. We don't really get to know much about them in general. I don't know. I said it before, I like mystery, but I also want answers. So it's like, I'm not sure. Sometimes it's cooler to just not know everything and to kind of have it up in the air. It's like figure stuff out on your own, make your own, fan stuff. But just like kind of having concrete answer is always nice in my book if they don't mess it up. How did you find me down here where the world ends? Yes, I know why you're here. You came to learn nail art from the legendary nail master Oro. It is the law of the great nail sage that I must pass down my teachings to those who are worthy. No law forbids me from exacting a payment for my time. If you truly wish to train under me, prove it with Geo. Alright, I forgot. Was it 4,000 for the last nail upgrade? Might as well. Get it? For the... Pretty sure it's percent, and then there's the charm. I literally never use dash slash. I think it's one of the worst ones. I mean, I only ever use great slash. I must say you are an excellent pupil. Your skill with the nail and your thirst to become stronger, you remind me of my brothers. I taught you all I can. Go back into the world, traveler. Lead me to my solitude. I don't like that it's both up and down arrow keys. Make you tick the dialogue. I think that's kind of annoying. Now learn you have been training with my brother Mato. I forgot I didn't get all the other... Well, now that I got Oro, I can go get the dialogue with the other two brothers, but I haven't really been paying attention to that. He has strange notions of loyalty and honor. I'm sure he was difficult and unpleasant to train under. Did he mention my name to you? If he does, tell him to be patient. Be waiting a while longer before I give him what he wants. I see you've been taught a nail art by my brother Shio. How fortunate of you. Yes, he was the mightiest of the great nail sage pupils, far outshining Mato and myself. My brother and my master loved him very much. He's always aloof, but not unkind. When we last spoke, he said he was going to teach himself something completely new. I wonder if you achieved that goal. Rest here if you must, but do not stay longer than you need to. And that's that. Like, Great Slash is just the easiest one, since all you need to do is hold down the attack button. And then you need to freaking hold up for Cyclone Slash. And you need to keep pressing to make it go longer, which is like cool, but I'm not really going to be thinking about that in combat. And then dash slash is you dash. I don't know, it's just so... I forget how many hits it is to get it. Not too bad. Okay. weird. Keep saying the ad's about to start, but we got literally 30 minutes. So it's kind of strange. Pretty sure the grub I heard was the one that's up top. Okay. Alright, is this gonna be my first death? What the heck was that? What the? That should not be possible. They're supposed to also die by spikes. That was... That was just ridiculous. Okay. Man. This shit is annoying. Gonna run an ad real quick so pre-rolls can turn off. Be back in a little bit. I'm just gonna get some water. Chill here. Alright. Oopsie. This area is a bit rough in terms of the layout and how many spikes and stuff there are. It's just kind of annoying. It's not as long as Deep Nest, but it's certainly, I think it's on the same caliber. Especially with the freaking primal aspect, it's just not, it's not fun. I mean, it's fun. It's just like, it gets to you at first. First couple times I was there, it's just like, you get killed by primal aspects enough, you start to kind of go insane. Oh, man. Hoping I can at least finish this area up. Do some Coliseum stuff. But yeah, like I said, appreciate the lurk. I know some people don't like getting called out when they're lurking, especially when they're first in the, stream, but I try to, I mean, I'm a full-time lurker myself, so I try to at least pay attention to who's in the stream. And if they stream, then I like to shout them out, because that's just my, I don't even know if you would call it philosophy. It's just how I am. Every time, man. I can never get this jump properly. Somehow that one's easier, but should be... I did that because he made it easy. Should be quick slash like right up here. Okay. Man, they just have a tendency to getting to you. Yep. Get over here. Alright. I wish we saw more gigantic bugs like this. We don't really get many. Even the ones we see that are full grown are not nearly as big as someone like that. At least in terms of like bosses, I mean, because we have some NPCs that are around that size, but like it's not really the same thing. Usually, bigger bosses are kind of annoying. Something I've noticed. I don't know. Just in the couple of games I've played where there are giant bosses or anything like that, it's usually not very fun or interesting to deal with. At least that's just for me. I don't know. Like someone like Yorm in Dark Souls 3 is like... First of all, he was just way too easy. So that was just a gimmick fight. Second of all, it was just not really an interesting fight at all. Even if it was a bit... Even if it wasn't a gimmick fight, I think it would still be kind of boring. He's just big and there's just a lot more time for you to react to the attacks. And yeah, no, there's not much going on. So it's like... I just find that kind of boring. It's just like, it might as well just be a regular sized enemy with a sword or whatever. Man. I know they can't actually predict where you are gonna be, but it feels like they are able to. But yeah, no. Especially in something like Elden Ring, where you have stuff like the trolls and the dragons, and it's like... And the dragons are different, but like, just having those bigger bosses and bigger enemy types to fight, it's just a lot more annoying, especially with the camera being as shit as it is in a game like Elden Ring. It's like, man, like you have great bosses and then you have absolute garbage tier fights that I can't even call a boss because, like, that one troll boss that's just a regular troll with magic, and it's like, why is this called a boss? Why does this have a boss health bar? Why am I wasting my time fighting this dude when he's the same as everybody else? Maybe I'm being nitpicky. I think there are... I was gonna say I think there are more good boss fights in Elden Ring than there are bad ones, but... I mean, most of you aren't like me, where I decided to fight every single boss there was. Like, most people aren't gonna do that. But it's like, there were so many, like, bosses that were not only repeated, but just in general, bosses that weren't interesting to fight at all. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, how do you have top of the top 10 out of 10 boss fights I can fight forever, and then you have other ones that I just don't feel like dealing with ever again, and I wish I could forget? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, this doesn't feel like the same dev team that made something like Millennia, and, you know, Radagon is kind of, he's a pain in the ass, but he's still, I think, overall a well-designed fight. People bitch about Elden Beast, but honestly, other than that boss running away too much, I think it's a decently designed boss fight. Could have been a better final boss, but I think it was decent. I don't know. Because when I think of a giant boss, like, I'm thinking of some hulking behemoth that can, like, kill you in 2 hits. And it's like, there's something about that. The classic, you know, David versus Goliath type of action where it's like, there's something appealing about that. Just, I think, intrinsically, in the human, like, psychology, just seeing something bigger than you, being the underdog, and triumph, you know, winning against that. I'm not going to use fucking big words I can't pronounce. Triumphing, that just sounds weird. I don't know why. I know that's how you actually pronounce it, but yeah, no. But yeah, I think there's something about that just in psychology, just like as animals. And then you have something like that in Elden Ring, and it's like, this is just a bigger version of the regular enemies I'm fighting, and they have more health, and it's like, that's not really interesting at all. I'm not saying giant bosses should, like, two-shot you or anything like that, but, like, I feel like there should be a bit of a degree more danger, or there should be something there, not just they're big. That shouldn't be the only selling point. I just feel like there are very few games that have actually nailed that kind of gigantic boss design properly. I don't know. We got the Colosseum. Could just do Hornet right now, I guess. Why not? Let's just get it out the way. I don't know how I end up yapping about Elden Ring on a Hollow Knight stream, but I don't know. I should be good enough for this fight. So you pursue the deeper truth. It isn't one the weak could bear. Prove yourself ready to face it. I'll not hold back. My needle is lethal, and I'd feel no sadness in a weakling's demise. Show me you can accept this kingdom's past and claim responsibility for its future. I just realized I actually messed up the title of this. Stream, because I technically beat 2 Dream. Whatever, man. Come on, man. Damn. Could this one succeed? From where does it draw its strength? Is it strong enough? I think that's about it. Yeah. So strong. You could do it if you had the will. But could you raise your nail once knowing its tragic conception and knowing yourself? Then do it, Ghost of Hallownest. Head onward, burn that mark upon your shell, and claim yourself as king. Alright. I don't know, everything in this, it might just be the NPCs not really knowing what they're talking about, but like everything suggests that the knight or ghost or whatever you want to call them has a will. Like, so obviously there are things that are able to move and do stuff in their program, like stuff like bacteria. Like bacteria doesn't have a will of its own to go and eat and reproduce and all that stuff. Like it's just doing what it knows is supposed to do to survive. Like that's it. Same thing with plants. They're not going up and growing because they want to. They're doing because that's just what's in their survival instincts. That's what their pre-programmed instincts tell them to do to survive. You know, even to a degree with animals, like they have wills in a sense. Like they have certain personality traits that other, you know, two golden retrievers are not gonna be the same animal. You know, but it's like they don't have wills to the extent where they're gonna specifically choose and understand their choices like humans would. But there's a lot of stuff in this game that suggests that the knight actually has a will and can do stuff. Looks like to the degree that like it's for the game to exist at all, because like obviously if you had no will at all, then you wouldn't be able to move the character, choose to sit on a bench and all that stuff. It's like you can see the knight holding the map open, choosing to write down stuff, being able to understand how maps work and clear out a path, choosing which charms to put on, you know, like choosing to dream out people. Like that's stuff that the knight is doing on its own, at least in my opinion. Like I think it's just clear that none of the vessels are pure, like at all. Like I just think they just completely fucked up. Cause like I just don't think a living being could ever not have emotions. It doesn't make sense. Marked by the Kingsbrand, Hallownest shall recognize a new leader, new ruler. King's gates will open. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, and it's just for the game. But I feel like there's too much that leads me to believe that there's actually not a single vessel that's pure. Because it doesn't make sense. The one that they chose was supposedly pure, and then they weren't actually pure. So it's like, what led them to believe all the other ones were impure? But this one isn't. But then it's still not impure. It's still impure. So it's like they weren't correct for anything. Like, not a single thing. So it's just... Come on. I should have seen that coming. I don't know. It's just like... This was just an experiment. They didn't know if this would actually work. It just made the most sense to them at the time. So, there's nothing that really suggests that they know what they're talking about. That was lucky. Okay. Nice. Okay. I don't know what that looks like. There's something there you can. One prefers its mind not be pride. It's rather unsettling, rather invasive. Tiny thing, you climb high, seek the knowledge of these lands. This ashen place is grave of worm. Once told, it came to die. But what is death for that ancient being? More transformation, methinks. This fell kingdom is product of the being spawned from that event. Tiny thing, the mark of worm you bear. Is it change you seek, or to save this ruin? That choice is yours. It's like that choice. Like, we do have a choice in the endings. And it's like, if the vessel is only pre-programmed to do stuff and cannot feel, cannot choose, has no will, especially it says voice, no will, no emotion. We never see any sort of emotions from the Knight because, they literally don't have a mouth or anything like that, or eyes, really. So we can't tell if they're feeling anything, but with Isma's tear, it does kind of suggest that there's some sort of mouth to ingest food, or else how would we be able to use the acid immunity? It wouldn't make sense, because it specifically states that you ingest it to be able to have the effect take place. So I don't know. Well, just because it says no voice doesn't mean that there's no mouth. I don't know. I just always assumed that because we couldn't see a mouth, and specifically no voice being stated in the dialogue, that meant that the Knight had no mouth at all. But it wouldn't make sense now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know, because like, when he says choice, but like, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Knight has a choice. Like, it could just be him saying that because he believes the Knight has a choice. It's like they leave it kind of vague enough where it's like it could be either or. I don't know. I think the Knight isn't pure at all. I think all that happened was the Pale King just made them kind of a blank slate, and they're just doing what they think needs to be done rather than following orders. That's just my assumption, because I don't know. I don't think you could make living beings be like robots. I don't really think that's possible. Not without sacrificing some level of intelligence and capability. Obviously, it's fiction, so maybe he actually did succeed, but from what's happening in Hallownest, it doesn't really seem that way. Always the smallest creatures that attempts the largest things. I don't know, I just think it's just interesting to think about. This falling ash is molt, the worm's corpse decaying, endless, serene, sad. Like, with how big is the body that it's literally falling all over the place, and it's all over the ground. It's like you see the body at the bottom, but it's like gone, the world is smaller. It's like cast off shell is right there, but yet the corpse, like the molt, is coming from the top, which doesn't really make sense to me. Because if the cast off shell is where the Pale King was born and the worm died, then how is it falling? I don't know, that never made sense to me. Don't mistake, I'm not a worm. Too small I am. Too many limbs, no foresight like those old things. For quiet retreat did I climb up here, away from spitting creatures. Yes, high up, away from simple minds lost to light. Theirs is a different kind of unity, rejection of the worm's attempt at order. I resist the light's allure. Union it may offer, but also a mind bereft of thought. To instinct alone, a bug is reduced. Like I don't know, just that, like, being able to resist it and to, I don't know, there's something to that. It's like we only saved 2 people. We're only able to save 2 people who were starting to be infected. And then they never get infected again. But then we have Mila who gets infected right away and we can't do anything about. Maybe it's to do with mental fortitude, but I wouldn't think that Preda, of all people, is, mentally strong at all. I don't know. Be on your way then. It's rest I'll return to, though in these times sleep oft proves uneasy. Look how big his freaking body is. That's actually crazy. You can still see it. Forget where he's chilling. Here it is. Like, all the way up there. Okay. You can still... I'd never realized how big he was. Holy shit. Like, this dude is gigantic. Like, literally a behemoth. Is that you bothering about my tail? Rest is somewhat disturbed, but I find that sensation not unpleasant. I don't really know what they're suggesting with that. I'm not really gonna guess. Anyways. I think we can get to... Coliseum. Get that done. That was kind of dumb. Man. Thank goodness for being able to go through objects. Right here. My king. It's interesting that he died there, but then the king's idol is all the way to the left. not sure why it's lagging like crazy right now. Right, right at city. Okay, it's taking a while. Alright. Should be able to do the first couple of areas. Another warrior finds their way to our fair Colosseum. This is the final destination for all seeking trials of intense and deadly combat. All one has to do is place their mark upon their trial board of choice, and lo, the arena's gate will open. There's a small fee attached to each trial, but I'm sure as skilled a combatant as yourself have accrued a wealth of geo. Before you draw your nail and rush eagerly to battle, offer one quick word of advice. So it's like, if it's just pre-programmed stuff, obviously the game would have like nothing other than the main story. But it's like, why would the knight be able to do this? You know? You could say, oh, the first one has a charm notch, and then there's pale ore to do better in battle, and blah blah blah. But it's like, what about the trial of a fool that has no actual benefit other than money? And it's just like, he just suggests some level of thought other than just doing the mission, which we don't even know what the actual, like, is the mission just to usurp the Hollow Knight and take its place because it's not pure, or is it to defeat the Radiance itself? So you have a choice. So it's like, there's nothing that really suggests that it has a specific mission. I don't know. It's just something to think about. If you want a quick word of advice, the Warrior's Pit just below here, where others like yourself await their own trials. Strongly advise using it to rest up before placing your mark. Oh, and I have no doubt, I'm a fearsome warrior myself. Don't go judging me by my size or my current constraint. Colosseum Beckasons, both. I'll be back in battle soon. Make a contribution, you can enter the trial of the warrior. I think it goes with like 1,000 something. Very well then, a new trial is open to you. I hope your performance is spectacular. Lord Fool, give me another chance. I'll prove my strength to you. Alright, let's go. Pre-roll ads are back on, so I'll run an ad and then take a quick break, 10 minutes, something like that. 10-15 minutes, and then I'll keep going. Probably only go for like another 2 hours or something. Like I said, I gotta get to sleep early. I can probably do at least the first 2 trials. Trial of the Fool is gonna take a while. Now I'd prefer to have full everything before doing it. Okay, it's just not loading. This is a bit irritating. Might not even be able to do the first trial. Okay. That was so weird. Yeah, I'm gonna put the ad on and then I'll take my break. I'll be back in a little bit.